Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So there's a government agency that's titled Countering Violent Extremism. And the Trump administration wants to not only change the name of that agency, but he wants to change the focus of that agency. He wants to change the name to Countering Islamic Extremism or Countering Radical Islamic Extremism or something to that effect. And he wants this agency to focus solely on Middle Eastern foreign terrorist groups instead of focusing on extremism in general. He wants it to no longer target white supremacists. And this is problematic on so many levels. I'll start off with the just basic level. First of all, by labeling this agency as Islamic or radical Islamic extremists or whatever, that alienates the very communities that the agency would need to cooperate with them in terms of gathering intelligence, in terms of building better relationships with Muslim communities. So just on that most basic level, this is a dumb idea. Second, there have been many articles written, there have been reports issued pointing out how white supremacist groups and other far-right wing groups pose a greater threat to the American people than these foreign terrorist groups. These white supremacists have killed more people when compared to these foreign-inspired or these foreign Islamic terrorist groups. They have launched more attacks. So it doesn't make any kind of sense at all to not focus on those groups as well, to not focus on white supremacist groups as well. And when I think about this, I just think about like recent terrorist attacks that have been committed by white people. When you look at Dylann Roof killing 9 innocent people in a church, when you go back to the time when Timothy McVeigh killed 168 people during the Oklahoma City bombing. When you look at these standoffs that federal agents have had with these far-right anti-government groups, it is clear and obvious that those groups pose a threat. But I think that part of this change in strategy is something that we could have predicted just based on the campaign rhetoric and just based on who is running the White House. And that person is Stephen Bannon, a far-right racist. They call him a member of this alt-right movement, but in all actuality, alt-right is just a euphemism for white supremacy. So you have somebody like that in a key position. You have a campaign that pandered to these right-wing groups, that pandered to these white supremacist groups. It is no coincidence that a David Duke would support Donald Trump. It is no coincidence that the KKK would endorse Donald Trump. It is no coincidence that the alt-right movement was celebrating Donald Trump's election with Nazi salutes. That is no coincidence. That is the base of Donald Trump's support. Racist, ignorant white people. And this new proposal does nothing but pander to that group. It provides them with safe haven. It gives them a license to just go all out on black people. And I think that that's frightening. And it's just another reminder that Trump doesn't give a damn about black lives. Black lives don't mean anything to this man. Because if they did, he would not have this organization no longer focus on these white supremacists, especially after this Dylann Roof killing. This is an outrage. And I am surprised that mainstream media is not covering this the way that it should.